friends. Today's video is a little bit different. It is about managing your stockpile, managing what you have, and just this really uncertain time that all of us are in. And even if you are not a recipient of SNAP food stamps, it just seems like everything's coming downhill at us all at once. Um, and this is across the board. And I'm not going to really make this a video about food stamps, but it's really on the tip of everybody's tongue right now with everything going on. How do you manage your stockpile in an uncertain time? If you've been with the channel since 2020, you know during the pandemic, March and April, a lot of stores looked exceptionally bare. And with that, a lot of us gifted a lot of stockpile items, paper towel, toilet paper, you name it, to family and friends. And a lot of us just gave it away. And with that being said, are we headed to something like that? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately, but I know a lot of you are exceptionally generous with family and friends. And that's why I'm kind of asking you right now. This is so important. Um, if something happens where the supply chain gets fractured because there's a lack of money, because this food stamps is a huge amount of what goes into the grocery store. I had no idea until I fell down a rabbit hole a couple days ago hearing about that possibly the supply chain might be fractured, or we won't be getting as many deliveries because there won't be as much buying power for this. And how long is this going to go for? If it gets reinstated tomorrow, that's a different story. But with the amount of layoffs and people that are really using community food banks and stuff, will they have enough food? I have a really good friend who lives in Ohio, and we were talking a couple nights ago, and she just said that she was driving a family friend to a food bank, and there was really nothing left. They had a 10-pound bag of potatoes, and that was it. And is that going to be the case for every single food bank? Unknown. But I know a lot of us are very generous with family and friends that are going through a hard time. And it's always been the practice of like, take whatever you want out of my stockpile. But with that being said, you have your stockpile, and this is just some basic principles of this, that you don't have to run out to the store to buy shampoo, body wash, Tide, that sort of stuff. And I'm really going to stress this 100 different ways for you to grab a paper and pen, little clipboard, do an inventory of what you have and what you can give, so you are not shortchanged, especially if there's an item that you can't get. And that we saw that 5 years ago. I know a lot of us at Christmas time, it's just common practice, fill up a bag, whatever, for your aunt or cousin or brother-in-law. But that might not be the practice if we can't do it this year. So taking an inventory, if it's on a pad of paper, if it's in your cell phone, however you want to do it, I think it's just a wise practice. And you might also have to have the exceptionally awkward conversation of, I can't give as big this year. And I'm even up against that wall. If you guys have been paying any attention, I used to be a really big Rite Aid shopper. We don't have that store. We haven't had that store in a year. So everything that I was getting extra from Rite Aid, I don't have anymore. So it makes the juggle just a little bit harder when you don't have that to give anymore. More than ever, Aunt Rach is saying to take an inventory of what you have and what you can give. If you are a reseller, I would say to stop reselling certain products such as paper, Tide detergent, diapers, feminine care as well. Those are items I would really take a pause on, just to be smart. A lot of the supply chain is pulp that comes from Canada for the production of paper, tampons, diapers, adult diapers. If that really gets fractured, yeah, it's going to be a lot more, or it's going to be harder to come by because the local factories here in the US won't be able to make it as quick. Give what you can, and that's why that inventory is so important. A lot of us stockpile a ton of toothpaste and items like that. If you have anything within like a 3-month expiry and you want to donate it to a local food bank, probably now more than ever, they would probably be very grateful for it. Also, a lot of us have been doing the penny shopping for different pet and dog food. If you can give to your local SPCA, I think that's probably one organization that isn't seeing huge donations right now. And with Thanksgiving being about 3 weeks away, if you have to have that awkward talk about Christmas and, I can't give you as much for my stockpile, you might have to have that talk a little bit early so you're not springing it to them on Thanksgiving or Christmas or whenever your family might gather, especially if the thing is they come to your house and take whatever. That might not be the practice right now, because we're all up against a wall. Be smart about it, guys. I know a lot of you are just going to want to argue with me in the comments and say that everything's fine, but everything isn't fine. If you're sitting on a value of $10,000 or $50,000, the retail value of your stockpile, a lot of people just think, oh, I'll just go to, Aunt Rachel's house and take whatever. And that might not be the case. Inventory, absolutely critical right now. Be smart and safe out there, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.